Hi everyone, my name's Tim and welcome to the Solid State Workshop. For newcomers to the channel and for existing subscribers alike, I thought it would be nice to fill you guys in on exactly what the aim of this channel is and where I'm planning to go with it in the future. I'm also making this video to hold myself accountable to all the things I'm about to say. So what is the overarching mission of this channel? Well, the mission is to make high quality learning material available to anyone interested in learning electronics. And that's because there are so many bright people all around the world, and I think every person is entitled to a high quality education if they want it. It shouldn't just be for people who are fortunate enough to afford a university education. And plus, in the end, the more minds we have thinking at once, the faster we can develop new technology, and the faster we can help solve our world's many problems. So you may ask, well, how do you plan on addressing this differently from the countless other educational YouTube channels? And here's what I've observed as the main dilemma in instructional videos. Current instructional videos generally fall under two categories. They're either quick, between 5 and 15 minutes, and they're introductions. And then you have the lengthy 5 to 10 hour university lecture series from, very notable institutions like MIT and Stanford and places like that. But in essence, the short videos are great, but they generally don't equip you with enough knowledge to go out and do it yourself, while the lecture series videos are so long and sometimes convoluted that most people can't justify sitting through them. So I think what we need is a middle ground which isn't discouragingly long but not so abbreviated as to give you a false sense of understanding. And lastly, I want to touch on some of the goals I have for this channel. And the first goal is to help develop knowledge through a balance of intuition and mathematics. And I think both parts are super important. I like to explain things intuitively and with analogies and with common sense, but ultimately we do need math to solidify the full picture. Next, to centralize as much information as possible to reduce time wasted searching for missing information. Now, there's never just one way to look at something, but especially when you're just trying to start out or you're trying to wrap your head around a concept, it's great when all the information is there and laid out in front of you. You don't have to waste time trying to find answers that should have been there in the first place. And lastly, to provide practical insights, because in the end, the point of electronics is to make cool stuff, and theory only gets you so far, so I want to make sure you know the things, how the things you are learning relate to the real world so you can make the next big thing. Okay, great. So now I want to show you my proposed channel roadmap and the topics I'm going to cover next. And each video that I make relies on knowledge gained in previous videos, so it really only makes sense to watch a video if you're confident that you are proficient in the content of the videos that came before, whatever video you're looking at watching. Now, a year or two back, I made a video called An Introduction to Simple Electric Circuits. Building upon that, I released a video called Essential and Practical Circuit Analysis, and the first one was just on DC circuits. Recently, I released Essential and Practical Circuit Analysis Part 2, which focused on op-amps. And I don't know if I'm going to release it next, but technically next in line is the third installment of the series, which is Essential and Practical Circuit Analysis Part 3, Transient Analysis, where I'm going to cover things like capacitors and inductors and how they behave in the time domain. Now, also stemming from the circuit analysis videos is going to be a video on transistors, and transistors are absolutely everywhere, yet a lot of people are afraid of them because they seem quote-unquote hard. So hopefully I can help make sense of transistors for you. Next in line is a video on basic digital circuits, and I'm not too sure if the transistor video will be a strong prerequisite for this video, but it would shed light on how digital circuits are synthesized in the real world. And finally, down this digital branch, here will be a video on FPGAs and hardware description languages like Verilog and VHDL. And FPGAs are being used more and more these days, and they've really had a huge impact on the industry, so it's definitely something you want to know about. Now, going back to the transistor video and using knowledge from the third circuit analysis video is a video on switch mode power supplies. I did a video on linear power supplies a while ago, and linear power supplies are still around, but by and far switching power supplies have taken over the world, and I think it's important everyone becomes familiar with them. And lastly, or at least for what I've been able to plan out here, is I'd like to take a jab at introducing radio frequency electronics. Since our world is so dependent on radio frequency transmission and communications these days, I think it's very important to have an idea about that. Now, I don't know how much we can cover in that video, but I think demystifying some of the basics would definitely be useful. So yeah, that's about all I've got today. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, and I will definitely consider them, or anything you have to say. So thanks for watching. Take care.